G'day YouTube, this is just a quick overview of the latest release of Fedora version 28, and as a bit of an overview to begin with, I guess you could say that it's described as a cutting-edge Linux distribution sponsored by the Red Hat Enterprise Linux org, and it's actually geared towards power users and desktop users alike. So getting into it, you'll see one thing straight off the bat. We have the Gnome desktop environment, and as you can see here, Gnome 3.0, that sort of thing. It's actually, there's a lot of Linux distros out there with the Gnome desktop environment, but this one is really I guess the stock version of it. You'll find on the left-hand panel here, there is no left-hand panel, there's no left-hand menu bar, that sort of thing. So it really is the stock Gnome there. Before I get into it any further, I'd just like to look at the background wallpaper, because this is something that I've always enjoyed about Fedora. I guess their latest release of their operating system always had a new wallpaper, and I think that's pretty cool. Kind of actually looks a little bit like a kind of fiber optic lights zoomed up close or something like that, so that's pretty awesome. Let's see, moving on from the desktop environment, the adjacent file manager, which is actually, as you might guess, part of the GNOME ecosystem, which is also just called Files or GNOME Files there. There we go. Also known as Nautilus Files, but it is the default file manager for any GNOME desktop environment, especially when Fedora is using it. Moving on, in terms of cutting edge, as I said before, with a bit of an overview there, it really is cutting edge. The whole point of Fedora is to use the most cutting edge, latest apps, and that obviously and definitely includes the kernel here. I haven't seen a Linux distro, popular one at least, that has any later kernel than this one, or even matches this one. I mean, the kernel 4.16 only just came out recently, so the fact that Fedora 28 is using it is just bloody fantastic. I really enjoy that. For example, as a bit of co-measurement, Ubuntu is running 4.15, Solus Budgie is running something like 4.12, Debian is running something like 3 point something, so definitely cutting edge latest kernel and software as well. It's something I don't get into too much with overviews because you can download whatever you want there. Moving on, let's see, let's have a look at some of the RAM usage here. In fact, what I might do is open up another terminal and have a look there. So I'll just type in htop command to see the system monitor of sorts in a terminal format. So here we go. Oh, I've just got the one CPU here. I won't get into that there, but we have a bit of memory being used up. I don't have a great deal of applications open here, but what I am finding is it's over a gigabyte of RAM, which is definitely not the lightest weight Linux distro for sure. Perhaps not the heaviest, but yeah, by no means a light fella there. Let's see, also, I guess some people like to know what they need to do to install applications. Now obviously you can use the software manager that hangs around here. Here we go, software, but also in terms of doing it nice and easily through the terminal, what you would need to type in is the following: sudo for root privileges, yum, which is the update method, and then type in install, and let's just type in htop, application I just used before. See what happens there, throw in your password, and that will get it to install there. That's already installed, nothing to do, complete, that's all good, but that's how you install things through the terminal as well. The terminal's not branded very Fedora-like, it's just very quite simple and basic there. In fact, one thing I will go back to though is the file manager, which has it's interesting, a lot of this stuff has a bit of a dark theme to it, and yet at the same time the file manager is just lightly themed. I feel like that's kind of thrown me off a bit there. But it is what it is, the latest cutting edge software, and if you're looking for that because you've got the latest hardware, for example, then Fedora might be the distribution for you. But super quick video guys, hope you've enjoyed. Please leave a comment, subscribe, and yeah, cheers, thanks for your time.